Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Simmons. This is Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves, December 13th, 2021. I'm sitting high atop Cedar Rock in DuPont State Forest in North Carolina and surrounded by what I would describe as maybe panoramic awe. Check this out. Isn't that stunning? All the way around. It just keeps going. The view, the perspective. And I've been sitting up here for about 15 minutes actually trying to figure out what to say in the video today because I know it's been a little while since I've made one and I wanted to get something out. And every time I'd think about what to say about endurance or evidentialism or different ideas of how we make sense of identity relative to perspective, all these different ideas, what kept occurring to me was how miserable it would be to hear my own voice and wreck the experience of being up here on top of the mountain. And that led me to think about maybe something we can learn from the apophatic tradition in Christian theology, though it's not isolated in Christianity. The idea of negative theology, or the notion that eventually we run to a limit of what we can say, not only about God, but maybe about experience and life itself. That words at some level fail us. Well, that seems right. How is it you describe love, or a first kiss, or the feeling of holding your child after they've just been born? These are things that words do their best to try to describe, but ultimately are going to be woefully inadequate to the task. That said, I think there's something powerful about the idea of learning silence. Learning to be silent in the face of things that might rightly give us pause. Soren Kierkegaard actually talks about what we can learn from the birds of the air and the lilies of the field. And he says one of the things is that we learn obedience and we learn silence and we learn joy. Well, that middle one, that silence, is sometimes what precipitates joy. It's the condition of experiencing a certain kind of joy. I think the idea here that the mystical apophatic tradition, people like Teresa of Avila, John of the Cross, Marguerite Porete, and others get right, and that Kierkegaard also expresses, is this idea that eventually we are to sit in experience, not merely try to narrate it. It's important that we do give narration, that we care about arguments, that we continue to give reasons and love nuance and verbal rigor in order to seek truth and express it as clearly as possible. But when it comes to living, expression may not be ultimately the goal. Experience might be. To take in rather than give out. Now, that can sound very egoistic, that it's all about you rather than giving to others. And that's not what I mean. But instead, a matter of being aware, being attuned to what it is that's going on, such that you're able then to speak with wisdom. So, as I sit up here on top of the mountain, frustrated by the fact that my voice is wrecking the experience of being here, maybe we all can think about the importance of apophatic theology, of Kierkegaard's teaching us lessons from the birds and the lilies, that silence is something that maybe precipitates joy precisely because we stop trying to control everything with our words, but instead we lean back into where we find ourselves. Well, that's where I'm at today, and I hope it's helpful for you. I'll see you next time, unless a piano falls on our heads.